الحمد لله رب العالمين له الحمد الحسن والثناء الجميل وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له يقول الحق وهو يهدي السبيل وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. We're in the introduction of Qawaidul fiqhiyyah, legal maxims. We've spoken about the definition of Qawaidul fiqhiyyah, the reality of Qawaidul fiqhiyyah, where is Qawaidul fiqhiyyah taken from. We've also touched on the history and the formation of Qawaidul fiqhiyyah. And last week we started by talking about what did we speak about? We started and we spoke about that there are 5 qawaid, which the scholars, they call it what? They call it the qawaid, the legal maxims, which are big, the supreme legal Islamic maxims. The reason why they call that is because all the scholars agree upon it, from all of the madhabs. We took the first one, which is al-umuru bimaqasidiha. We took that last week. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to go into the next one, which is al-yaqinu la yazulu bil-shak. Certainty cannot be removed with doubt. Al-yaqinu, certainty, la yazulu bil-shak, it cannot be removed with what? It cannot be removed with doubt. So certainty cannot be removed with doubt. Al-yaqeen is certainty, it cannot be removed with doubt. What does al-yaqeen mean? Al-yaqeen means, it means certainty, something you're sure, something you're certain about, you're 100% sure. And a-shak means what? A-shak means when many things, you don't know which one is right from which. You cannot put your finger on which one is right. You can't put your finger on what it really is. Al-yaqeen, certainty, cannot be removed with shak. If you can strengthen one over the other, then it's not called shak. Are we all together? It's called Dhann. Dhann means what? Okay. 60% you're sure. Hey, this 60% that you're sure is called Dhann. It's called what? Dhann. If you can't, it's 50-50. I don't know which one. 50-50. Or it's 70. If it's 70, it's Dhann. 80, it's Dhann. If it reaches 100%, it becomes certainty. Sah? What about if it's 40? Some scholars, they say the 40 here is wahm. The 30% here is wahm. 20% here is wahm. Are we all together? It's called wahm. But if you can't strengthen one from the other, you can't say this is what it is and this is what it's not, it's called shak. What is it called? It's called shak. You can't remove it with the certainty that's already there. You can't. You can't remove the certainty with a shak, a speculation. معناها, the meaning of this principle is أن المرء إذا كان عنده جزم بالقلب بثبوت شيء أو انتفائه فلا يصح أن يتركه لوجود شك طرأ عليه بل يعمل بيقينه الأول ولا يلتفت للشك الطارئ. If a person جزم بقلبه بثبوت الشيء, in your heart there's a conviction, unwavering conviction in your heart that something is like this or it's not, بثبوت الشيء أو انتفائه, or it's not. I'm 100% sure this is not, or I'm 100% sure it is. فلا يصح, at that point it is not correct أن يتركه لوجود شك, a doubt that somebody threw at you. You should remove the certainty because of it. طرأ عليه, that being thrown at you. بل يعمل, but rather the person he acts upon which one? بيقينه الأول, the certainty that you had at the beginning, you hold on to that. ولا يلتفت للشك الطارئ, and don't look at the doubt that threw itself at you. Let me explain this to you. You went and you did wudu. You went and you did wudu. After you did wudu, you came to the masjid, you prayed your salah, and then you sat down and you called your family, and a while went by, and then dhuhr came. And you said, do I still have my wudu, or did I break my wudu? Question here is, are you sure that you did wudu? Huh? That's shay which is mutayaqqan, something you know out of certainty that you did do wudu. Whether you broke it or not is a shak. What is it? It's a shak, it's a doubt. Don't remove the certainty with this doubt. The certainty still stands. The certainty what? It still stands. The evidence for this principle. What's the evidence for this qa'idah? What is the dalil for this qa'idah? The dalil for this qa'idah is the hadith that's on the board for you. If you could just look at the hadith, everyone. What does the hadith say? The hadith says, إِذَا وَجَدَ أَحَدُكُمْ فِي بَطْنِهِ شَيْئًا. If someone finds something in his stomach, your stomach is growling, it's making noise. فَأَشْكَلَ عَلَيْهِ, doubt enters your heart. أَخَرَجَ مِنْهُ شَيْءٍ. Did something come out of you? فَأَشْكَلَ عَلَيْهِ, doubt entered you. Did something come out? أَمْ لَا, or it didn't? The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, فَلَا يَخْرُجْ, أما فَلَا يَخْرُجَنَّ, he should not come out مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ حَتَّى يَسْمَعَ صَوْتًا أو يَجِدَ رِيحًا. Masjid here means the salah. He shouldn't come out of the prayer. The masjid here means what? The word masjid sometimes is used as the word salah, right? Can anyone give us another example? When Allah says, خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ, in the ayah, خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ, خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ عِنْدَهِ. Masjid is mentioned in the ayah. It means every salah. So when you're in the salah, you're praying, and your stomach makes noise, okay? And you say, oh no, did I pass wind or not? The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said to you, don't leave the salah. When can you leave the salah? When do you leave the salah? حَتَّى يَسْمَعَ صَوْتًا, until you hear a noise that comes from you. أَوْ يَجِدَ رِيحًا, or a smell comes to you. This is now certainty. What is it? It's a what? It's a certainty. It's a certainty. This salah that I'm in, the wudu that I had, was it not a certainty? I can only remove that certainty with another certainty as strong as it. Does that make sense? That's the evidence for this. Are we all together, brothers? Now I want to mention a mas'ala, a issue that I want all of you to write. Is, can we, as a side point, everybody write this, can you base evidences on 60 or 70%? What was 60 or 70% called? Dhann. Sah? I just mentioned it, right? Dhann, can you base a hukum shar'i on dhann? High speculation. Can you? Are you allowed to? Yes, you can. Dhann, which is 60 or 70%, you can base what? You can base a hukum shar'i on it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 230. Ayah 230. Allah says, فَإِن طَلَّقَهَا, if the man divorces his wife. This is after he's finished all of the iddah. So she's finished all of the iddah, and he's finished all of the talaq. He's finished all. He divorced her how many times? 3 times. So it's finished. The message, Allah says in the ayah, فَإِن طَلَّقَهَا, if the man divorces her, فَلَا تَحِلُّ لَهُ, she's not permissible for him, حَتَّى تَنْكِحَ زَوْجًا غَيْرَهُ, until she goes and marries another man. He divorced her, he finished it, he said it again and again, 3 times. Now she has to go and get married to who? She has to go and get married to another man. This man that she has to get married to, it can't be an agreement that her and her husband had. No, she has to genuinely wants to get married. Are we all together, brothers? And they also have to have intimate relationship. As the Prophet ﷺ said, حَتَّى يَذُوقَ عُسَيْلَتَهَا, until they have intimate relationship. Are we all together? Now pay attention. The ayah then went on to saying, if she got married to another man, and when she got married to that man, she didn't like that man. She wanted her old husband, her ex-husband. So she left him. She wants to come back to her old husband. Allah says, فَإِن طَلَّقَهَا, if the new husband divorces her, فَلَا جُنَاحَ, there is no harm, عَلَيْهِمَا, on both of them, أَن يَتَرَاجَعَا, to come back. She got married again. She left her husband, the other one, she wants to go back to her ex-husband. Allah said there is no harm for them to come back together. إِن ظَنَّا أَن يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ, if they have high speculation that they're both going to be within the boundaries of the Sharia, meaning they're both going to fear Allah in each other's rights. What did the ayah say? In dhanna, if they both have what? High speculation. She thinks if she goes back to her husband that he's going to take good care of her and he's going to look after her and she can fulfill his rights. She's going to fulfill his rights. And he believes that when he gets married to her, he's going to fulfill her rights and give her what she wants. If that happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He then says they can get back together. So the ayah, what is it saying? That the hukum is based upon here what? Dhann here. Dhann is not here shak. It's not shak. What is it? It's more than that. Shak, it means that they're equal. Like in dhann is higher. Are we all together, brothers? Does everyone understand? Does that make sense? Okay. I want to mention another thing, which is al-amalu bil-dhann, acting according to dhann. What did I just say? Are you allowed to act upon dhann? What did I just say? Yes, you can. There's a type of dhann that you can act upon. Masail yu'malu fiha bil-dhanni. Some masail, some issues, you act upon dhann, which is the one I gave you right now. Are we all together? Does that everyone understand? Does it make sense? Okay. I want to give another example. Another example. A man divorced his wife. What did he do? He divorced his wife. He said, I divorce you. When he divorced his wife and they went their separate ways, the man came back and he said, I never divorced you. I never ever divorced you. What are you talking about? Wallahi, I never divorced you. She says, I have 2 witnesses. That day when you divorced me, 2 witnesses were sitting there. Let's go to the qadi. Let's go to the judge. He goes, come, let's go to the judge. They stand in front of the judge. He says to the judge, Judge, I am certain that I was married to this woman. Are we all together, brothers? Everyone is, I got witnesses that I married this woman. She knows I got married. Did I marry you? Yes. I have witnesses from the local community who knew the day of nikah was done. She wants to remove that certainty with something 2 witnesses only believe. And I have 200-300 people came to my nikah and wedding. Yay. And she wants to remove the validity of this nikah that we had based on 2 witnesses. Hey, what happens here? What does the judge do? It's true that he was married to her. That's yaqeen, certainty. He was married to her. He's saying this one is not 100%, no. But it's dhann. She got 2 witnesses who had 2 reliable witnesses. It's not shak. This one is what? Dhann. What do? Do we dismiss the yaqeen that was there, which is that he married her, and the nikah was valid and it was done, and we take the 2 witnesses? بِإِجْمَاعِ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ, the 2 witnesses are taken. Consensus, there's no difference of opinion in that. Ijma'. We moved away from a yaqeen, a certainty, and we took a what? Dhannul ghalib. High speculation. Because the job of these 2 witnesses is that they're reliable. No one can question their integrity. Are we all together, brothers? We'll take those 2 witnesses and we'll say it's gone. There is a possibility that 2 witnesses can be wrong. They're not ma'soomeen. They're not ayah from the Quran or the Sunnah. لكن غلبة الظن. Are we all together, brothers? غلبة. This is not mas'ala mukhtalafun fi. I said it's ijma'. There's no difference of opinion. It's ijma'. Okay? Keep that in mind. So here, what did we act upon? يُعْمَلُ فِيهَا بِالظَّنِّ. The dhann is being implemented here. مسائل لا يُعْمَلُ فيها بالظن. Masail where you don't act upon dhann. Are we all together, brothers? You do not act upon dhann. For example, is the hadith that you get in your stomach. So you are passing the wind. This person is in the salah. His stomach grumbles. He doesn't smell, nor does he hear anything. But he has a doubt. Did I just pass my wind? Just pass wind. My stomach's fine. No grumbling anymore. He has a high speculation that he might have passed wind, but he didn't smell it. He didn't hear it. And he's sure that he had wudu. What do we say to him? We say to him, act upon the certainty that was there. The dhann here is not, it's not acted based upon it. لا يعمل به. Are we all together? Now I want to go into القواعد المندرجة تحت هذه القاعدة. I want to go into other principles that fall under this qa'idah. Other principles that fall under this principle. Al-yaqinu la yazulu bil-shak. Other principles that also come out from it. Before I go into this, we'll leave it because it's too much details. I don't want to go into and confuse you. Al-Qawaidul mundarija. Principles that come under al-yaqinu la yazulu bil-shak. By the way, this qa'idah is from one of the Qawaidul khamsatul kubra. It's not a little qa'idah, it's a big qa'idah. So many qawa'ids fall under it. And it enters many chapters. What does it enter? Many chapters. It enters many chapters. But I've only just chosen 3 just to make it easy for you. From the qawa'id that fall under it is al-aslu fil ibadat al-man'. The asal, the default position. What is it? What is it? Of ibadat. What is the default position for ibadat? That is prohibited. Pay attention to this, yeah? Here, al-aslu, it means what? The default position. The certainty. What we're certain about in ibadat is what? That is prohibited. Why? Pay attention to this. When a person does an ibadah, why are they doing it for? What is the purpose of doing it? To get closer to Allah, for Allah to love you, for Allah to take you to Jannah, for it to distance you from the hellfire. These are the reasons why people do ibadah, true or false? Correct? If you do this ibadah, okay, and you're hoping to get those, that's speculation. What is it? Shak. Whether those things are going to get you closer to Allah, whether it's going to take you to Jannah, speculation. All of that speculation. It's based upon what? Shak. The certainty is that Allah only legislated the path that Nabiullah Muhammad took. Are we all together, brothers? You can't leave that certainty for something that's speculative. That's all speculation. Are we all together, brothers? That's how it falls under this qa'idah. Does that make sense? The asl of ibadat is al-man'u. You can't do this. You're not allowed to do an ibadah unless you have evidence for it. You can't worship Allah in any way, shape or form unless you have evidence for it. Now I want to mention something. When we say that you can't do an ibadah and it's not allowed unless you have an evidence, the prohibition of doing an ibadah is divided into 2. The first one is aslul ibadah. This ibadah itself, you have to get who did this act, ibadah, the origin of this ibadah. You are actually making a new ibadah that did never exist. You're creating it. It doesn't exist. It's a made up ibadah. This one is prohibited as well. It's prohibited. Are we all together, brothers? The second type of ibadah that's also prohibited is kayfiyatul ibadah. Which is, this ibadah exists. You're right, it exists. But you've made it into a how that Allah and His Messenger didn't sanction. That's also prohibited. Are we all together, brothers? I'll give you an example of each one. The first one is celebrating the Prophet's birthday. This ibadah is not permitted. Aslan, it's a made up ibadah. This is aslul ibadah. Aslul ibadah is made. It needs evidence. You're not allowed. Where did the issue of celebrating a birthday? This is a made ibadah. Are we all together, brothers? This one, the scholars, they call it bid'ah haqiqiyyah. This one is called bid'ah idafiyah, which basically means the ibadah does exist. But this individual, he's doing this ibadah in a way that the messenger didn't do it. For instance, the khatib, he's doing khutbah. And when he does khutbah, after he finishes the khutbah and he concludes the khutbah, what does he do? He makes dua, supplication. He makes dua. He does dua. The khatib lifts his hand up and he says, Allahumma ghfir lana dhunubana wa israfana fi. He lifts his hand up. And he's the khatib, he's standing over there, he's doing the khutbah and he raises his hand. Now, raising your hand in dua is established. Oh yeah, it is established. Because the Prophet did it in witr. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in salatul istisqa. He did it the day of Battle of Badr. إِتَسْتَغِيثُونَ رَبَّكُمْ فَاسْتَجَابَ لَكُمْ أَنِّي مُمِدُّكُمْ. He raised his hand until the upper garment of the Prophet fell from him, salawatullah. He's raising his hand high up. He also made dua. Nabiullah Muhammad made dua on the pulpit. But he never raised his hands. In this particular place, you're right. Raising your hand for dua was established in other places, but not in this place. In this particular place, no. The same way, if you're going to the toilet and you say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith, can you raise your hand? Is it not dua? Is it not dua? Of course it is dua. Why did a lot of you guys smile? Because nobody does that, right? But raising your hand for dua is a legislated, sanctioned thing. Yes, I agree with you. But not here. Are we all together, brothers? Does that everybody understand here? So sometimes people say that the ibadah is originally permitted, so why can't I do it in whatever form or way I want it? We'll say you have to follow the Prophet also in the way that he did it, in the form he did it. Are we all together, brothers? Am I making sense here? Be well aware of that. Both of them are bid'ah. And a lot of the bid'ah, brothers, is bid'ah idafiyah. This is the one that tricks the most people. They forget even the number is a ibadah. The number is a ibadah. Are we all together, brothers? For instance, the sunnah before Fajr is how much? Can I make it more? Do you see that, brothers? Are we all together, brothers? Because this is number, no. What about if you say, but Isha's 4, why can't I just make the sunnah before Fajr is 4 as well? The number is also something you need to follow the messenger in. Bid'ah idafiyah. If you make it more than 2, you're doing a bid'ah now. Are we all together, brothers? Does that make sense? The person turns around after doing the salah, he leads the salah, he turns around, he takes a microphone and he makes dua for everybody. And everybody raises their hand after salah. It's a bid'ah idafiyah. It's a bid'ah idafiyah, meaning originally doing dua in congregation, in Taraweeh for instance. It's permissible because the messenger did it there. But he didn't do it after the salah. Everyone does it for them. You do yourself. Are we all together, brothers? This is where the shaitan tricks many people. Now we're going to go into the next one, which is al-aslu fil ashya in ibaha. The asal of things is permissibility. Things here we mean the people's customs, the people's norms is permissibility. You can use any technology you like. It's permissible. Are we all together? Because it's not an ibadah. Like the ibadah is prohibited until proven otherwise. Like when it comes to worldly issues, the asl is permissibility. You can dress in whatever way you want, you can wear whatever you want, as long as it does not go against what? A shar'i matter. Does that make sense? The ibaha is the asl. If two people are arguing, you can't wear these clothes, or you can wear these clothes, the one who says you can't has to provide the evidence. If two people are arguing, you can't eat this food, and the other one says, no, you can, the one who's saying you can't eat has to bring the evidence, because you're allowed to eat whatever you want until proven otherwise. Are we all together, brothers? You're allowed to. Because the yaqeen and the certainty is that it's what? That Allah permitted it. The doubt could be, maybe this might fall under the things Allah prohibited. You have to remove that shak from us. Are we all together? Al-aslu bara'atu dhimmah. The third one is, the asl is everyone is innocent until proven otherwise. No one's guilty. Everyone is what? Innocent until proven otherwise. Al-aslu bara'atu dhimmah. An example for that is, someone is accusing a person of borrowing their money. I gave you some money. I borrowed you some money. And he looked at you and said, no, you didn't. The asl is, I'm innocent until you prove otherwise. Are we all together, brothers? The asl is bara'atu dhimmah. That the person's innocent until proven otherwise. Bara'atu dhimmah means you are free from what you're being accused on or accused of. Innocency is the asl, and anyone who wants to remove that default position, the certainty, doubt is not enough. Doubt is not enough. Bayyina. You have to be clear things. We're all together, brothers. You can't remove certain person's innocency with speculation and assumption. But maybe, but what was he doing at that time? But why was he like that and that? Why was he wearing those clothes? Why was he driving like that? All of those are what? Those are all shak, speculation. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to go into the fourth qa'idah. Is it the fourth? Third qa'idah. Okay. Now we're going to go into the third qa'idah. The third qa'idah, which is al-mashaqqatu tajlibu at-taysir. Al-mashaqqa tajlibu at-taysir. Again, is this term al-mashaqqatu tajlibu at-taysir, is it right to say it or is it not? A lot of the scholars of usul al-fiqh, they are actually against this qa'idah on the wording. They don't like that wording. And I don't want to go into that for now. I don't want to go into that now. What does it mean? Al-mashaqqatu tajlibu at-taysir. معناها, the meaning of it is الصعوبة والعناء التي يجدها المكلف في تنفيذ الحكم الشرعي تصير سببا شرعيا صحيحا للتسهيل والتخفيف عنه. The hardship that a person endures, the hardship that the person encounters in fulfilling a jurisprudent ruling, makes it a legislative Islamic legislation. It makes it a sabab shar'i, a sharia based reason for the matter to be made easy for the person. Let me say in simple terms, anything which difficulty and hardship enters, the sharia gives you a way out. It uplifts that burden of you and it makes it easy for you. Anything that becomes hard and complicated and difficult on a person, are we all together? This now becomes easy. Inna ma'al usri yusra. What's the evidence for this principle? What's the dalil for this qa'idah? Many evidences. There are what? There are many evidences. The scholars, they say the evidences for this qa'idah is categorized into how many? It's categorized into three. Pay attention. The evidences for this qa'idah is categorized into how many? Three. Write this down, everyone. The evidences for this principle is categorized into three. The first one is ما ورد من أن الحرج منفي في الشرع. The texts that state and say hardship is uplifted from a person. The texts which say hardship is negated and is uplifted. And I gave the example where Allah says, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wants ease for you and He doesn't want hardship for you. This ayah is uplifting hardship. It's telling us Allah doesn't want that for us. Inna ma'al usri yusra. That's the first type of evidences. The second types of evidences for this principle is ما ورد من تعليل بعض الأحكام الشرعية بالتيسير. Some jurisprudent rulings, the Sharia stated ease for it. There are some, Allah mentioned the ruling, Allah states a ruling of an issue, and after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions ease. This is easy for you. And the third type is istiqra'i ahkam al-sharia. Anyone who does induction means what? Following up all of the evidences in the Quran and the Sunnah. If you look at it, you will realize that Allah Azza wa Jalla's religion is here to bring ease and good and benefit for you, and to repel and push away from you hardship and what? And to repel from you hardship. Those are the three forms in which the principle can be established. We don't want to go too much details into that. Okay. But I only mentioned one evidence for you, which is يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ. Allah wants for you what? Allah wants for you what? Allah Azza wa Jalla, He wants ease for you. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ. Allah wants بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ. He wants for you ease. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. أسباب التخفيف. Here we're going to go into أسباب التخفيف. The reasons why the Sharia will give ease to you. When are the times when you will be given ease and the burden and the difficulty will be uplifted? When? Every time? These are the 7. Okay? These are the 7 times when difficulty and hardship is it's uplifted. Is what? It's uplifted. The first one is as-safar, traveling. Traveling, ease is brought and difficulty is what? Is repelled, is pushed away. There's many things I can say here, I can go into, but I don't want it to. I want to make it easy. A lot of you guys seem very tired. Traveling. When can it be considered traveling? The scholars, they have views. The views of the scholars can be categorized into two views when it comes to traveling. The first view of scholars, they said that traveling is restricted. Like, traveling is a restricted thing. We know what it is. Are we all together? And the second view is that the concept of traveling is not restricted, but rather it goes back to the custom of the people. Whatever the people consider to be traveling is traveling, and what they don't consider to be traveling is not going to be traveling. And remember this concept of custom. We're going to be taking it in the fifth qa'idah, inshallah ta'ala, which is al-'ada muhakkama. We're going to be taking it there. So traveling, the scholars, how many views do they have? Two views. What's the first view? That the concept of traveling is restricted. The second view is it's unrestricted. It goes back to what? The custom of the people. The first view, what was it again? Restricted. There is two views. The first view is broken into two views. The ones who said it's restricted. The scholars who said that the traveling is restricted, their view is broken into two. One group of scholars that said is restricted to a distance. Ooh. And we didn't know there's so many views. Restricted to a what? A distance. That distance is traveling. And a second group, they restricted it to a period. As in, if it's day, then they said traveling. Some said no, it's not. If it's 2 days or 3 days, وَمَا إِلَى ذَلِكَ. Are we all together? Those are the two views. Those who restricted it either to timing or distance. And the second view is those who said it's unrestricted and it goes back to the custom of the people. And the strongest of the opinion is the second one, the latter of the two, which is that the concept of traveling goes back to the custom of the people. الحكم والعرف معمول به إذا ورد حكم من الشرع الشريف لم يحد. Because the Sharia didn't give us a definition to traveling. It didn't tell us this is how long it is. Since Sharia hasn't, we go back to the people's customs. Okay, now come back. Traveling is a what? So the person is being given a what? Is given the rights. If you want to break your fast, you can, and if you don't want to, it's your choice. Safar, it uplifts the burden from you. ولذلك the scholars who said that this قاعدة المشقة تجلب التيسير is not good, they said traveling in it is what? Hardship, right? Is it not? What about if the person travels and they don't go through hardship? Does that mean they cannot break their fast? Are we all together, brothers? So those scholars, they said this qa'idah is not good. Because a lot of the hardship, praying Fajr is hardship. The concept of mashaqah, it can't be narrowed down. Rather, some of the ibadat, they were pushed on top of us, even though it's hard. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. Are we all together? That the jihad was made obligatory on you while it's what? While it's a burden on you, hardship on you. Are we all together, brothers? Am I making sense? Huh? Very important that you understand that. So that's why the discussion of the qa'idah is back and forth. The second is al-marad. If a person is sick, ease. Al-ikrah. Al-ikrah means what? Al-ikrah is a person to be coerced. Coercion is a what? It's somebody tells you, drink khamar or eat dead animal, and they have a gun on your head. How you do it? And you say it. Allah gives you that ease. Use it. Benefit from it. What did the Prophet ﷺ say to Ammar ibn Yasir? Ammar came, he said, Ya Rasulullah, they told me to insult you, and I did it. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, كيف وجدت قلبك? How was your heart, Ammar? When they told you to insult me, how did you find your heart? And he said, مطمئن بالإيمان. My heart was tranquil on Iman. I believed in you and I believed in Allah. Then the Messenger ﷺ said, فَإِنْ عَادُوا فَعُدْ. If they do it to you again, do what you did. If they say to you, insult Muhammad again, do it. As long as it doesn't go to your heart. And then the ayah came down, إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. The only person who doesn't become a disbeliever is the one who's been put under coercion. Are we all together? Ikrah. Lakin, the ikrah cannot be something equivalent to what is being told to you. So for example, somebody put a gun on your head and said, hey, go kill another person. Go kill your wife. You said, okay, I will. You can't go home and shoot your wife and say, I had to do it to save my life. Your life is not more valuable than her life. Are we all together? You can't. Does that make sense? A gun was put to your head and you were told to rape another person. This is no way, shape or form permitted. I'll take the questions to the end. Al-jahlu. Al-jahlu means ignorant. For example, somebody swore by Allah. He said, Wallahi, I'm never going to go to Shahid's house. Wallahi, I won't. And then I got tricked. Somebody tricked me and said, come, I'm going to take you somewhere. And then I didn't know. And I walked into the house and like, uh-oh, you're inside Shahid's house. Sah? I'm jahl, I have ignorance, I don't know. Right now the Sharia uplifts the oath that I made because of ignorance. And nisyan, I forgot. You did something you forgot. Just the same place, I went to the house because I forgot. Again, it's uplifted from you. The next one is an-naqsu. An-naqsu means the woman who's on her menstruation. An-naqsu means a woman who's on her menstruation, okay, or a crazy person, or a baby, a child. All of them, Allah didn't say to the majnoon person, well, sorry, you still have to pray. Allah didn't say to the little child who doesn't know anything, you know what, no, you still have to pray. The woman who's on her menstruation, Allah didn't say, you know what, forget, I still have to pray. No. Because they're going through an issue, Allah uplifted that stress and hardship from them. Just deal with your issue. Are we all together? Last but not least is al-usru wa umumul balwa. Something that has a harm in it. Like for example, you go to a shop and you say to the owner of the shop, oh, I'm going to buy this batikh from you. You all know what a batikh is, right? Watermelon. I'm going to buy the watermelon from you. But slice it open so I can see what's inside it. I really want to look at it. Well, if he does that to all of his batikhs, it's going to be a problem for him. Are we all together, brothers? That's going to cause him what? Harm. Are we all together, brothers? So you have to buy it based on what? The Sharia has given him, uplifted that burden from him, that he can sell it with it being. Are we all together? Or example, this concept of umumul balwa, that some of the scholars they talk about is some rulings can change from prohibition to permissibility based on umumul balwa. Al-usru umumul balwa. There's no way out of it. Like some of the scholars they said picture is haram, but because it became umum, there's no way to stop it. Everyone has it on his phone. There's nothing you can do. Al-usru wa umum al-balwa, they said al-mashaqqatu tajlibu taysir. There's nothing you can do. Every ID, they need this from you, and this car, this company is going to ask you for this one, and this one, and and when you go, somebody's going to take a picture of you, someone's going to do this to you. They say the ruling can change because of that. All of this has more detailed of a discussion. We're not unraveling the discussion like that. Anwa'u takhfif, the types of takhfif, the types. We mentioned the reasons. We want to talk about the ways that the Sharia and the types in how it uplifts it. In what ways does he do it? The first one is, what's the first one? The first one is al-isqat. Al-isqat means what? It's to remove it. And an example for that is the woman who's on a menstruation. The salah is fully removed from her. That's one type. There's no partial removal. Partial removal is no. The woman doesn't say, okay, I'll pray half of dhuhr, half of asr, or I'll fast half of the day and I'll relax the next half of the day. No, this is isqat. It's fully dropped. Fully dropped. The second one is yunqas. It's reduced. It's not removed fully, but it's tanqis. It is what? Reduced. Like the traveler, he prays 2. Dhuhr, he prays 2. Isha, he prays 2. Allah didn't say you're a traveler, you're like the menstruation woman, don't need to pray. No. You pray, but it's reduced. That's one form of takhfif. It's one way of making it easy. Taqdeem. Taqdeem is that you're allowed to bring it forward. You will know the hadith. The salah to taqdeem. When you're a traveler, can you bring dhuhr? So now it's dhuhr time, can I bring asr earlier? Yeah, I can do jam'u taqdeem. Come by, dhuhr comes in, I'm a traveler, I bring asr. I bring it early. That's jam'u taqdeem. And the opposite here is jam'u ta'khir. Ta'khir means to what? To delay. That's also one of the anwa' of takhfif. What I can do is, I'm going to miss dhuhr. I don't want to pray dhuhr now. I'll pray when asr comes in, inshallah. Because I'm a traveler. I can also do that. Tarkhis. Tarkhis is what? Is to be given a rukhsa. You have the choice, it's up to you. It's a what? It's a rukhsa. You have a rukhsa, and that's like the fasting for the traveler. It's a rukhsa. If you want, you can fast, and if you want, you can leave. It's a what? It's a rukhsa. Or let's even rukhsa. What's even better is aklul maytati lil mudbar, eating haram things just because of a state of necessity. Rukhsa. Something that was haram is being made halal for you. Like for example, eating pork. You're about to die, just to live. That's better to call tarkhis. And what's the next one? Taghyir means it is to change. An example for that is Salatul Khawf. The Salatul Khawf changes based on the army and how close the army that they're fighting is. Salatul Khawf changes. Salatul Khawf changes based on the army. Is the battle very severe and is it intense, or is it not? It changes. And we spoke about in the Shara of Ad-Durarul Bahiyya. The next one is, and the final one is Ibdal. Ibdal means what? The Sharia, it doesn't drop it from you, but it exchanges one with the other. And that's like At-Tayammum in the place of wudu. For the one who can't use water. Are we all together? Or the one that doesn't have water. It's not fully removed from him, Ibdal, but one ibadah is exchanged with another ibadah. All of these are the forms of anwa'u takhfif that the Sharia has given you. Now we're going to talk about anwa'u al-mashaqqa, the types of hardship. Okay, the types of hardship. Mashaqqa la tanfakku an al-ibadah. The first one is a hardship that does not separate from the ibadah. It's attached to this ibadah. So it's mashaqqa la tanfakku an al-ibadah. You can't detach it from the ibadah. You can't. And I gave an example before, which is jihad. Hardship for jihad is always what? Jihad can never just be walking in the park. Sah? It's going to be hardship. Okay? Important. Or Hajj. Someone goes, Wallahi, Hajj, I can't do it. There's mashaqqa in there. Hal mashaqqatu tajribu taysir. Now we say, Hajj, you can't detach it from hardship. Are we all together? Good. Fasting. Someone goes, Wallahi, me, I always eat. And I eat 6 times a day. I can't fast. Al-mashaqqatu tajribu taysir. Sahaba Salih. Al-mashaqqatu tajribu taysir. The scholars, they say, mashaqqatu la tanfaku an al-ibadah. This type that cannot be detached from the ibadah, ghayra mu'tabara. There's hardship in there. Stop whinging, do it. Stop whinging, do it, brother. That's not the hardship, that is removed. Are we all together, brothers? Does that make sense? The second type is mashaqqa tanfakku anil ibadati ghaliban. It's a type of hardship that detaches from the ibadah the overwhelming majority of times. Ghaliban. Majority of the times it is detached from the ibadah. And this is divided into 3. Azima, severe. Khafifa, very easy. Mutawassita, in the middle. And all this, by the way, is غير منضبط. I told you before, mashaqqa cannot really be narrowed down, but just min babi tasheel, it's just to make it easy for you all. Okay? Let me repeat the second one again. Hardship tanfakku anil ibadah. It can be detached from the ibadah the majority of the times. The majority of the times. And sometimes it's very severe. Like a person says, I can't stand up in the salah. I'm too severe for me. Okay? Now salah, hardship can be uplifted from it. It's not hard. It can be. This person is finding in that prayer mashaqqa to stand. Hardship is causing him severe pain. Are we all together, brothers? So what we say to them is, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where Imran ibn Hussein, where the Prophet says to him, صَلِّ قَائِمًا, pray standing up, فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَقَاعِدًا فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَى جَنْبٍ. Are we all together, yes or no? Pay attention here. Are we all together? So he said, pray standing up. He said, I can't. If you can't, then sit down. If you can't, then lie down. Because majority of people can't stand up. Do you find hardship in standing up? Huh? Do you find hardship in standing up? So hardship can't be detached from it. And sometimes it can happen, hardship. This one is mu'tabara. We take your pain into consideration. We say to you, sit down. The second one is khafifa. Is what? Khafifa. It's easy. There is hardship, but there's easy. He's been playing football all day. He's a little kid, he goes and plays football all day, he's running around, he's playing football, and now Salah time came in, he's like, whoa, I'm tired. I'm tired, I can't stand up. And he pushes a chair and he sits on it. And he wants to pray in a chair. Yes, there is hardship for him because he was playing football. But the scholars, they say, غَيْرَ مُعْتَبَرَةً. It's khafif, this is light. It didn't come from a physical pain. Stand up, brother. If you can pray 2 hours football, you can't stand up in the salah for 10 minutes. So you'll be told, stand up to pray. Are we all together, brothers? All this just to get it easy for you. Wallahi, it's not munbabit. Mashaqqa cannot be narrowed down. It's hard, it's very hard. But it's just to make it easy. And the second one is mutaraddid. I'm a mutawassit. I'm a mutawassita. The one that's mutawassita is it azima or is it khafifa? It's in the middle. Some scholars are pushing it to the azima and some scholars are pushing it to the khafifa. And because of the many khilaf happens regarding it. Some people say, you know what, it's lifted up, it's lifted from you. And another group of scholars may say, it's light. Man up. The fatwa changes in this one, from person to person. Are we all together, brothers? This one differs from person to person. Now I want to go into these three, and I'm going to conclude, inshallah ta'ala, with it today. الضرورة تبيح المحظورات. قواعد that fall under this. Three, again, just three. Three principles that fall. That what? Three principles that fall under what? المشقة تجلب التيسير. It falls under it. What's the first one? الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. الضرورات means what? Necessity. It permits for you that which is haram. Are we all together, brothers? Okay. Mahdur is something which is haram. Let me explain something to you. Something which is muharramun lidatihi. Something which is muharramun saddan muharramun saddan lidari'a. I want you to understand this. When you look at the haram, it's two types. Something which is haram in and within itself, like zina, okay, or drinking khamar. Are we all together, brothers? Or lying. All of those are haram lidatihi, in and within itself. Lying is haram in and within itself. Killing is haram in and within itself. Are we all together? Zina is haram in and within itself. Does everyone understand? Brothers, are you with me? Those things are haram in and within itself. It's haram. In itself is haram. The second is, it's not haram in and within itself. It's not haram in and within itself. It's haram because it's going to lead to something haram. This thing is not haram. It is haram now, but not because of itself. It's haram because it's going to lead to something haram. And an example for that is looking at a woman. Looking at a woman is not haram in and within itself. It's haram because of what? Because it's going to lead to zina. It's going to lead to what? Saddan lidari'a. It was made prohibited for what? Saddan lidari'a. It was prohibited because it's going to lead to something haram. Does that make sense? Are we all together, brothers? Here is a golden qaida, golden benefit, which is anything which is haram in and within itself only becomes permissible when there's a darura, necessity. When something is haram, not in and within itself, but what is going to lead to, it doesn't have to reach darura. Less than darura can permit it. Haja can permit it for you, a haja. Let me repeat that one more time. If something is haram in and within itself, muharramun lidati, haram in and within itself, like drinking khamar, is haramun lidati. There's no other way you can drink that khamar unless it's a state of life and death situation. A darura. It's a life and death situation. Darura, necessity. You have no other alternative. Are we all together, brothers? That's when it's haram in and within itself. Lying is haram in and within itself. It only becomes permissible. Somebody's going to kill you and there's no other way out of it except to lie. It's a necessity, you can lie. Are we all together, brothers? Yes or no? Huh? Yes or no? Okay. And something which is haram, not in and within itself, but it's haram because it's going to lead to what? Because it's going to lead to something haram. It's going to lead to something haram. And that's why it was made haram. Like looking at a woman. The same woman I could not look at. What about if I want to marry her? If I now want to go marry this woman, am I allowed to look at her? I'm asking you all a question. Yeah? Are you allowed to look at her? Is it a darura to look at her, marry her? When you're marrying her, to need to look at her, is that a necessity? No, it's not a necessity. Is that a life-death situation, brothers? Some brothers are like, yeah, it is a life and death situation for us. Are we all together, brothers? It's not a necessity, right? It doesn't have to reach necessity. It's permitted less than that. Haja. The fact is just a need. Are we all together, brothers? Ubihat, it's made permissible. Does that make sense? So when you hear this qa'idah, al-darurat tubihu al-mahdhurat, the things which are muharramun lidati, you can't just say, wallahi, there was a little need. It has to be a necessity. It has to be a higher level, which is darura. Okay? Necessity permits that which is haram inan within itself. Another qa'idah. ما أبيح للضرورة يقدر بقدرها. Anything that was made permissible based on necessity, you can only take from it in accordance to the necessity. يقدر بقدرها. You have to take the amount of the need. Let's say, for example, somebody's eating food and something stuck on their throat and they're about to die, and they grabbed an alcohol and they opened it and they drank it just to move what's in their throat. That's permissible. What about if you said, wallahi, this is nice, let me take it home. Wallahi, I'm going to drink it tomorrow as well. No. You are only allowed for it to remove your what? From whatever is there. Now it's fine, are you fine? Go. We're in the middle of the desert. We're about to die from hunger. We saw a dead animal, we cut it up, we ate it, we cooked it, we ate. The brother with me, because I wouldn't do that, but the brother with me, he said, let's take it in our bag. No. We were only allowed to eat now what can fill us. Taking extra, and this is la. ما أبيح للضرورة يقدر بقدرها. Whatever necessity, you have to match it. Some people, they go overboard. A doctor has to see a woman, مثلا, he has to see a woman's aura, a particular part of her body, because he's a necessity came. He has to do surgery. He can only see that part of the body where he's doing the surgery. He can't tell her, take off all of your clothes. Are we all together? يقدر بقدرها. Only the amount he needs to see. If he needs to see her head, he can't look at her leg. Are we all together? يقدر بقدرها. Number 3, الإضرار لا يبطل حق الغير. Pay attention. I became hungry. We're in the middle of the desert. We're starving. We're about to die. We saw a goat. Necessity allowed us to what? Slaughter it. We're about to die, we're allowed to. Because the qa'idah al-darura tubihu mahdhurat. We're about to die. We're in a necessity to eat. Are we all together? We're in a state of necessity. So we saw a goat. What did we do to the goat? We slaughtered it. We ate it. When we ate that, the person who owned it, his right will not be lifted. As soon as we finish it, we say, how much does the goat cost? Are we all together? How much is your goat worth? And he goes, my goat's worth this much. Why? Why did you ask? We were about to die and we ate it. He can't say, why did you eat it? لأنه الضرورة تبيح المحظورات. But we can't use it as an excuse and say, what was الضرورة? We don't have to pay you, brother. No. الإضرار لا يبطل حق الغير. It doesn't lift the what? The rights of others. But it does in one situation, which is if we kill it because that goat wanted to kill us. We were defending ourselves, it died. We're not going to pay the person who owns it anything. Are we all together? But if we ate it out of hunger that we needed to, then we have to pay the person we took it from. I'll stop there, inshallah ta'ala. Anything which I have said that was wrong or incorrect is from me, shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are free from it. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayh. Faddal. Yeah? Huh? No, but it wasn't yours. Somebody else's goat. He said, is the goat haram to eat? I said, no. But the reason why it's haram is because it's someone else's goat. You didn't take their permission. We saw a goat somewhere by itself. We don't own it. Someone owns it. So we slaughtered it. It's haram for us to eat somebody else's goat. Sah? It's a necessity why we're eating it, because we're about to die. But what do you have to do then? You have to pay the person their money for their goat. Any questions? Yeah. Repeat the question. Last time we took that if two Muslims fight one another, both of them are in the hellfire. Kill one another, sahih. Defending himself. Sahih. Anyone who is killed in defending himself, he was attacked by someone and he's defending himself, then this individual has the rights to defend himself. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man qutila duna malihi fahuwa shaheed." Anyone who is killed defending his wealth, defending his nafs, he's killed. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, he's a martyr, he's a shaheed, defending himself. But the hadith, إِذَا الْتَقَى الْمُسْلِمَانِ بِسَيْفَيْهِمَا, it's talking about Muslims who are fighting in a what? A fight of fitna. Fitna happening between the Muslims. And people are fighting for tribal reasons, for political reasons. It's different. Worldly reasons, they're killing each other for worldly reasons. Someone said something about you, go and you want to kill them, and the other wants to kill you. Or your tribe wants to kill his tribe. Or hakada. No. Like in anyone who is attacked, he can defend himself. Al-ilmu inda Allah azza wa jalla. Barak. Sahih. It's true. Even when it comes to saving yourself, it's a darura for you to defend yourself. But that defending has to be in accordance to the ability. If you know somebody wants to come and he wants to rob your wealth, he's a thief. He came through the window. He has no weapon. He just wants to snatch something and leave the house. So if you just, hey, I saw you, he hears your voice, he'll run out. But you get a gun out and you shoot him in the head. No, la yajuz. You're not allowed to. Or he comes into the house, all you just need to do is hit him with a stick and he'll run away. That's all you need. You can only use the force that's needed to repel this harm. But you can't get a bazooka and blow him off. And he's got nothing. No. Faddal. Are you a Maliki? That's a Maliki madhab. The Maliki madhab, I didn't go into it. It wasn't written on my notes. The Maliki madhab, when it comes to al-yaqeen la yazulu bil-shak, they flip the issue. They say The certainty is no one has wudu. You never had wudu in the first place. That's the certainty. Prove you have wudu. They agree on the qa'idah, but the application of the qa'idah, Malikiyyah take a route different to that. So it's a valid difference of the scholars within the Maliki madhab. I had that, but I didn't want to go into too much tafasil, too much details. But I mentioned it in the sharh of our Qawaidul fiqhiyyah when we did Ahmad Nasir Saudi. I mentioned it there. Yeah? Fadal. That which seems apparent to me, wal ilmu indallah, knowledge is with Allah, is that it goes back to the custom of the people. Whatever the people consider traveling is traveling, and if the people don't consider it traveling, then it's not traveling. It goes back to the people and the land. Now, if you've left your yeah, if the people of the land consider it and they say that, then yes. If they say that, then yes, it is. But if within one city, from one place to another place is 2 days, and the people don't consider it to be traveling, then it's not traveling. Does that make sense? It goes back to what the people. Like for example, do the people here consider Ajman to be traveling? Yeah? Ajman. Is Ajman considered? Yeah? اختلف العلماء. Scholars, they differed in this issue. Some group of the scholars here, they said it's no. And the scholars here, they said, who believes Ajman is traveling? Who says that Abu Dhabi is traveling? So everybody agrees Abu Dhabi. Where did you guys find that Abu Dhabi is traveling? Urf, custom. Where did you guys get from Ajman is not traveling? By the way, Ajman and Dubai both are two different cities to Dubai. Abu Dhabi and Ajman are two different cities. Sahih, true or false? Are they not? How is it that one of them, you said what? You said it's not traveling. And the other one you said, it is traveling. When they're two different cities. If you're coming from Jabal Ali, and you go to Ajman is what? It could become an hour or something, right? And if I was leaving from the edge of Dubai, from the Abu Dhabi road, I could probably get to Abu Dhabi before the person gets to Ajman. This is the same. The distance is the same. The reality is the urf. If you hold on to this distance and day, and it's problematic. It's better to just look what the people believe. Yeah, there's people who say that. 80 kilometers and things like that. The best thing, brothers, is Allah mentioned the Quran, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى. Did Allah mention how much it is? Did one hadith say that traveling is this amount? There isn't. There isn't. The Sharia, the reason when the Sharia doesn't give a definition to a word, where do we go back to? Urf. We go back to the custom of the people. We know that many examples in the Quran. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Say to the people, good. Husna, good. Hey, what good? What good do I say to the people? It goes back to the custom. In one culture, if you say this word, what do you just say? But in another culture, if you say this, very good, husna. Sah? Does that make sense? The ayah left it unrestricted because it wants you to use it in your own culture. In your own, you know the scholars of hadith, they never used to take knowledge from a person who was drinking and what? He was walking. If they saw someone outside drinking, standing up and walking, no hadith. Because for them this was khawarim al-muru'ah. It went against what? The moral conduct of a Muslim. Does that apply now? Does it apply now? Yeah? It doesn't. If you saw somebody drink outside. But what about if you saw a sheikh who was wearing a vest? Sheikh was wearing a vest. I'm asking you guys, brothers. He was wearing a vest. And he was wearing a quarter length, just above his knees. And he's wearing a vest. You can see his arms and everything. Hey, yeah. What do you think? Is that all right? And he said, Inna alhamdulillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'in. Is that fine? What's wrong? What's your dalil? What's your dalil to say what he's doing is wrong? No dalil, you can say wrong. His body is covered. There's no aura. What are you saying? Why are you saying it's wrong? The custom. It's the custom you're using. Say, ooh, what's he doing? As soon as he comes in for the khutbah, everybody's like, A'udhu billah, A'udhu billah. Sah. But he's nothing wrong. He's wearing clothes. Sah, brothers. The urf takes, the custom is very important. Are you with me, brothers? Custom is what? It's very important. Yeah. Say that again. It might change. Sahih. The frequency is not an issue. But would anybody consider that the time that you go is a traveling? So it's still traveling. Still traveling. The frequency doesn't change it, the fact that the person keeps doing it all the time. If somebody, for example, every single week, 3 days he's in India and the other 4 days he's in Dubai and he's doing that, that doesn't change the fact that he's still traveling. However frequent he's doing it. He's a traveler. Yeah, travelers. For the rest of their life, they're travelers while they're doing that. The frequency doesn't change anything. Now, a traveler combining and shortening is the same for him. A traveler can combine and he can shorten. No. No, they don't believe it. Sahih. There are many hadiths that are against them on the issue of al-jam'ah. The hadith of Ibn Abbas in Sahih Muslim is against them. That the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam combining the prayer. No, they don't allow it. You don't have to take it. A rukhsa, you don't have to take it. You can take it if you want to. Yeah. Well, when it comes to issues of safety and things like that, I always generally like people to go to the senior scholars. Questions like that are very, very delicate. They're very delicate issues of what's taking place right now around the Muslim world. Matters like that, I very strongly encourage people. I always say to them, those issues that your local imam or your weekly teacher, that's not his job to talk about that. The honest truth. These needs a lajna. Wallah, wallah. It needs a committee of scholars. Sarahatan. For them to give answers and responses to these issues. The scholars, they said, لو سكت من لا يعلم. If the one who doesn't know was quiet, there will be less dispute in the Muslim Ummah. Just left it to the people of knowledge. He let them speak about it. I know what's happening around the world. I see it, I hear it, I'm fully aware of it. But it's not my place to talk about it. If I do, I'll be questioned Imam Allah Ta'ala the Day of Judgment. But these issues, take it to people who are very senior in age. Old people of age. Sarahatan. You'll find an answer that's built upon knowledge and wisdom. It's built upon knowledge and a lot of wisdom. And growing up, I see so much things are changing in my life the way I see them. But the old person, he's been through all of those hurdles. He's been through all of those hurdles, and the knowledge is there for him. So when it comes to issues of like that, take it to those people, inshallah ta'ala. And Sheikh Sulaiman al-Ruhail is coming on today. Sah? Is it today, Sheikh Sulaiman al-Ruhaili? I think it's today he's coming. It's best to go to him and speak to him about it, inshallah ta'ala. When you come to your place of residence, you're no longer a traveler. Once you come home, you're not a traveler. You have to play normal. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakumullahu khairan.